I guess we'll go ahead and we'll move along to the CT4.
Okay.
Which I believe we have one
Yep,
around there.
we sure do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the new models that I said they just came out with. So that the CT4, actually, for anybody familiar with Cadillac lineup, previously they had the ATS was available in this segment, and the CT4 took the ATS's place. But also kind of up the game a little bit. So the biggest thing is size-wise, it's very comparable to what the ATS was, but there's a lot of things that they've added to this vehicle that make it a better vehicle than what the ATS was. The ATS was a good vehicle, and they've just kind of moved forward and improved on that. So more interior room. So what they did was they pushed the wheels out a little bit further towards the corners to give more room on the interior without really having to go with a bigger vehicle. So the biggest thing with that was what it did. The ATS is you had a lot of people. It was essentially a 4-door vehicle that was really a 2-door. It just had 2 extra doors. So, easy to get in and out of that back seat if you needed to use it. But, it was usually a spot reserved for maybe somebody you weren't too fond of. You put them in the back and it's kind of like a torture chamber back there. It was a little tight. So you have more leg room back there, easier to get in and out of. So if you do have somebody maybe taller, they're actually able to sit back there a little bit more comfortably. More headroom, more room up front. So it's just all around. It's just a more comfortable vehicle. So again, the ATS was a nice little vehicle. They just have improved upon that. And between this and the CT5, which again took the place of the CTS, both of these vehicles now are rear-wheel drive based platforms with available all-wheel drive. So the nice thing with that is it really gives the drive of this vehicle a sporty feel. You don't have something that's a front-wheel drive base. This is rear-wheel drive based, more like Cadillac's, race cars. So you definitely kind of have that, seat of your pants type drive feel when you push this car to its limits.
I've been hearing a lot about this Blackwing version.
Yes. So those will be coming out soon. And what the Blackwing is, Cadillac actually introduced that. It's the actual engine that's in the vehicle. So it's part of the V series. That engine was actually introduced in 2019 with the CT6. And at the time, it was Cadillac's very first twin turbo V8. So it was a 4.2 liter V8 that they introduced just for that vehicle. Unfortunately, 2019 was the last year for the CT6. So when they came out with the CT4 and the CT5, they had a V series. And for anybody, again, knows anything about the Cadillacs, the Vs were their kind of, hair on fire, performance vehicles. So when they came out with the V series of these, you had people saying, well, hold on a minute, this isn't, the big crazy V8 and, all the power that they typically you would see in the V. So they got a lot of feedback from, customers. And what Cadillac did was they said, okay, we're going to try to develop something here for the CT4 and the CT5 to kind of go in that direction where people were wanting to do. So they were a little hesitant at first with carrying on with the Blackwing name, but they decided that they would do that. And for anybody curious as to where that Blackwing name came from, it's actually was the original Cadillac crest. When Cadillac was first introduced, the Blackwing was actually a bird that was on the original crest, and it was a mythological bird that had no beak and no feet. So that's kind of they kind of tied that into the heritage of the the original Cadillacs. So now going forward with the CT4 and the CT5, what they did first for Cadillac, so they actually sat down, and these vehicles were developed with the people who actually sat down and developed the body and all of the aerodynamics packages and everything for the Cadillac race cars. So everything on these vehicles now going forward, again, it's just they're kind of, top of the line, and it takes, their racing heritage and puts it in with the luxury. So the engine that you're going to have in the CT4, the black wing, it's a V6 twin turbo, but it's going to produce 474 horsepower, and that is, the most horsepower of anything in the CT4's line. Any other vehicles that are out there that are kind of in that line of sized vehicles, most horsepower any vehicle out there. The CT5V black wing is, again, most powerful Cadillac vehicle that they have ever produced. So it's got actually a hand-built V8 engine, supercharged, that they're going to have in that, and it's going to have 668 horsepower. So previously, the CTSVs had a lot of horsepower. They were 650 horsepower. This kind of upped the game, by almost 20 horsepower. So
Blackwing is
the Blackwing is it. That's, you're looking for, a Cadillac that's going to be a comfortable daily driver, but you can also, take to the road tracks or wherever, on the weekend. That's the one that's, that you're going to want to go for.